so I know how I said that I would be uploading more frequently to the channel, but I've been working on something big for this channel and it's honestly taken some time. Right now I'm at the last details of it, but it's something that a lot of you have commented in the past and I am so excited for this. It's coming really soon, but that's all I'll say for now. So something else that a lot of you guys ask me almost every single day, where's the Shelby engine? What's up with the Shelby? You never posted anymore. Guys, the engine is still not here yet, so it's still at RPG, but good news because it's already on its last leg and I did order a few extra goodies for it, so it's already ordered and on the way to RPG. And that means that it'll be back like just in time for the cool weather. So maybe like in a month and a half, maybe less. And I'll be able to take it to the track after the break-in period. Getting back to today's video, so I'll be working on the Hellcat Redeye today, and let me show you exactly what I'll do. Today we'll be installing injectors, and I have them right here. So everything that I've been installing on this car, all these engine mods, I did get from HHP. So I'm wearing this cool shirt they sent me, and it even has a Challenger on the back, which obviously you guys can't see it. But before we get started on this install, let me show you what I did before that. I already changed all the spark plugs. Now, for those of you, I mean, you may know or you may not know, if you have a Camaro, you know that changing those spark plugs is, I would say, not that easy just because the placement there by the headers, and it's just uncomfortable, honestly. I thought that was bad until I worked on the Hellcat Redeye. This car has to be 10 times worse than the Camaro, at least to do spark plugs, just because it's just, the lack of space is just insane. It's just so uncomfortable. It's like a huge mission. Now, this side, the passenger side, was just a lot worse to work on than the driver's side, but this side is just the worst, just because you have to take out a lot of things. So I had to remove this, I had to remove this, I just had to take out a lot of things just to have some space. So once I did that, it's still uncomfortable. I went through my first mission, which just to remove the sensor, and oh, that was already a pain. Then after that, to remove the coil packs, I had to just play around with it just because it was so hard for me to remove, because they have these rubbery tubes that it just made it a pain. But either way, I'm glad I got it done. This side, like I said, the driver's side is a lot easier than that because you don't have to remove that many things, but it's still the same concept. I can honestly say that after doing this, after replacing the spark plugs, I don't want to do this for a very long time. So I'm glad that's taken care of. And of course, something always goes wrong. So you do have to gap these spark plugs, and I over gapped one. So in the middle of this installation, I had to run to the parts store and then get a spark plug. So this job, doing the spark plugs, took me 6 hours. And another thing that I didn't know, because originally when I got the spark plugs, well, when I got all the parts from HHP, they sent me 4 boxes. And I was like, oh, how nice of them. They sent me to replace now, and then they sent me just to have spares. No, this car has 16 spark plugs. I didn't know that until doing this job. So now I know why HHP sent me that. So glad I got that out of the way. Now we can move on to a much easier, hopefully easier installation, which are the injectors. So these are the injectors that I'll be installing. These are ID 1050 injectors. Why these and not large injectors? So I'm currently working on phase 1 of the Hellcat Redeye. I will not be using ethanol, which would require more volume and therefore larger injectors. I will be using Q16 for now. So that's why I'm using these injectors. I know that that's a higher octane, that's a bit costly, but honestly, I'd rather be safe than sorry. Whenever I'm ready to move on to phase 2, make more power, I can always just go back and replace the injector for larger ones and also change anything else that would go along with that. But moving on to today's install. This should be very easy, but you never know nowadays. Something that you think is easy ends up being a mission, but I honestly don't think that this will be like that. So very simple. All I need to do is remove these 2 bolts, and then I need to slowly pull out the fuel rail. This car hasn't been turned on in a very long time. So I don't think there's going to be any fuel pressure, but I may be wrong. So when I pull that slowly, I will put a rag underneath there just in case anything leaks out. And then of course I'll remove the injectors. So let's get started with that. And I'll see you guys once I do that process so we can compare the stock injectors with the new ones. The stock injectors are out and they're right here. And as you guys saw, some fuel did end up coming out and some of it did splash on my face, but the rag did manage to absorb everything else that was coming off of there. Let's just compare here. Now, these are the ID 1050. Obviously, these are a lot different. You can see the difference here. Now, these are going to provide more flow than the stock ones. Now, another thing is that in order to make this easier to put back in, I'm going to get some oil that I have here and I'm going to lubricate the O-rings. So what I'm going to do is just pour a little bit of oil on this side, which by the way, I'm using my small grip mat today and it's coming in really handy. So I'll just have a little bit of oil here and then I'll just dab a little bit. Well, I'll just dab my finger a little bit just to lubricate these O-rings, and then that way it'll go on a lot easier. Now to put it back on, it's just the reverse steps. I just need to put the injectors on and then these clips, which super easy. And then after that, we'll move on to this side here and we'll do the exact same steps. So remove the stock injectors, install these new ones, and then I'll see you guys once I'm ready to rack up. Don't know, there's something about this side, the passenger side, that just makes it harder to work on. I think again it's just because of the lack of space. And then that last injector, that was a pain. This here on the driver's side, again, super easy to work with. I didn't show this on camera just because again it's just redundant, basically the same steps, and it went easy, no issues at all. So that's always good, especially after going through all that trouble with the spark plugs. I won't be turning on the car today because the battery is disconnected, and as you can see, there's things that are still not on the car. So we're gonna continue this on the next video, which I'm very excited for that modification. You know what, I'm not sure if it's going to be easier than the upper pulley. I guess I'll find out once I do it, but I will be installing the lower pulley and I'll also be pinning the crank. It does involve drilling, so I think I'm a little bit nervous for that, but I already know that installation is going to be a lot of fun. So that's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.